Once again, another victim of the 30-minute time limit on my camera. The camera I'm using has a 30-minute time limit, so if I ramble on for more than 30 minutes, it just automatically shuts itself off, and then I have to make a second video to finish up what I was going to say. In this case, actually, I was almost done with my notes on this book, so this should only take a few more minutes. But there's a couple more notes I wanted to hit on. One is this interesting little quotation from page 24, in which Flashman, our narrator, says, quote, "It's always been the same. Suppose some learned scholar were to discover a fifth gospel, which proved beyond a doubt that our Lord survived the cross and became a bandit or a slave trader or a politician even. Do you think it would disturb the Christian faith one little bit? Of course not. 'Twouldn't even be denied, likely, just ignored. Hang it, I've seen evidence in black and white in our secret files that Benjamin Franklin was a British spy right through the American Revolution, selling out patriots for all he was worth. But would any Yankee believe that if 'twas published? Never, because it's not what they want to believe." It's an interesting charge, and Fraser even attempts to back it up in his footnotes at the end. In his endnote number 4 on page 365, he adds, "For evidence that Benjamin Franklin, agent number 72, and his assistant, Edward Bancroft, were working for British intelligence during their time at the American Embassy in Paris and passed secret information to London, which resulted in heavy American shipping losses, see Richard Deacon, A History of British Secret Service, 1980. Now, that's quite a shocking charge. If that were true, that would be one of those, why didn't I ever know about that? The crazy stuff they never teach you in history class type moments. But my own research, which consists of about 10 minutes searching Google, seems to reveal that this isn't really a credible mainstream theory about Benjamin Franklin. Yes, this charge apparently has been made, but it seems to be kind of a crackpot theory. Now again, take my opinion with a grain of salt because I'm not an expert. I just Googled this, but that seems to be what's turning up on this. Somebody let me know in the comments if you disagree, but I don't think that's very credible, which opens up the question. I've always been praising these Flashman books for their historical accuracy and the meticulous research, but it does open up the question, how accurate are George MacDonald Fraser's sources? Is he giving in to sensationalism? Now, that comment about Benjamin Franklin being a British secret agent, in the context of this story is really not important. It's just one of those throwaway comments that Flashman makes. And Flashman makes a lot of throwaway comments in the story. But what's more central to this story is this theory that the United States government had known in advance about Harper's Ferry, but chose not to do anything about it. Now, how credible is this? I don't know. This isn't my area of expertise. I'm feeling a little bit skeptical about this, especially in light of that Benjamin Franklin allegation, which apparently is not credible. But yeah, I don't really know. I'm skeptical of it, but more than that, I can't really say. Somebody let me know in the comments if you know any more than I do. Okay, just a couple more notes. I want to talk about the chronology. I've been reading some of these Flashman books out of order, and I previously said that once you get past book 7, it doesn't really matter what order you read these in because they jump all over. But I'm going to take that back. It does kind of matter. This book makes repeated references both to Flashman's previous adventures to America, Flash for Freedom, and to Flashman and the Redskins. So definitely, if you're jumping around in chronology like I was, read Flash for Freedom and Flashman and the Redskins before you read this one. The last thing, the very last thing I'll talk about is just connections to some of the other books that I've been reviewing on this channel. I reviewed a biography of Captain Sir Francis Richard Burton, and Flashman makes a couple of references to Richard Burton in this book. Flashman actually never meets up with Richard Burton, at least not in the canonical Flashman paper books, which is a shame. I think there was a really good book that never got written about Flashman and Richard Burton. It's too late now because George MacDonald Fraser is dead, but it would have been an interesting book. But Flashman does name drop Richard Burton as a friend of his. Also, in the very beginning of this book, there's about 40 pages where Flashman is in South Africa and talks about what South Africa is like in 1858. Now, this is 20 years before the events described in Thomas Pakenham's The Scramble for Africa, but the politics seem to be largely the same. The same problems the British government has balancing the interests of the Boers, the British, and the native Africans are already present in 1858, and Thomas Pakenham's book, which takes place in 1876, I believe, is when that starts out, shows the same problems already in force. Okay, that's all for me. I'm going to finish up here.